Uh-oh, something not good has happened here. This is our I think it's a 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. We had this thing in the shop last week. We were diagnosing a misfire on startup. It had a trouble code. It was a P303. I ended up finding slightly low compression on cylinder number 3. I speculated that it had an intake or an exhaust valve leak. We cleaned out some of the carbon in the engine, had the intake manifold off, and I ended up tossing in a fuel injector. One, the injector was cheap, and 2, I was trying to kind of make that misfire go away. However, the truck came back today on a tow truck, and something is very, very broken. So let us restart the engine. They said it was making some smoke. There was a clicking noise or whatever, and the thing kind of lost power while driving. So let us restart the engine. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not okay. Powering back down. What is this about? Let us pop in the hood and take a look down below. Let's see what happened to this unit. Something's going on here, and that doesn't sound very good at all. I want to get this in the shop. It's kind of warm outside. So they said it had an oil leak. There was some steam or some smoke coming out. Oh, let's see what we got here. Got a flashlight. There's a bunch of oil down there. Look at that. Yeah, I see all kinds of oil hanging out. Bunch of oil there. It's a pool of oil. And nothing on our dipstick. That's not okay. All right, let me go fetch some oil. We'll dump a little bit in the engine here and see if it's gonna run. Oh, that's not good. All right, okay, to the vault of viscosity. I've got some BG oil over there, but it's a highly expensive, fully synthesized 5 Winter 30, and I don't want to use that, so we're gonna use some leftovers. Let's see what I got here. There's some 1540, we can use that. This is about to trigger some people. We've got some 520, some 540. We'll use all this stuff first, and then see if this thing makes oil pressure or not. I think it's got no oil pressure, or it has no oil in it. I don't know. Or maybe it has created itself an inspection port inside of the engine block. It could have done that also. Did not sound very good, but we'll throw some of this in there first. We'll restart it, at least get it into the shop. They said they were driving when this occurred, and I'm speculating that we have suffered some catastrophic damage to this Pentastar 3.6 liter. That's not okay. I hope it's okay, but it doesn't sound good. There's even some oil splatter back here on that rear cylinder head. This is where we were working last time. We did compression checks on those cylinders, and then we did a number 3 fuel injector back there. So I think what I want to do, get some lubricant into the crankcase, make sure it's not running out on the ground, and I don't know, I can't tell. We might just have to push this thing in. Well, we're gonna find out. See, usually we get to the pouring things segment at the end of the video, and this one's coming in an inverse order here. All right, dipstick, what do we get? Almost there. Okay. There's some on the stick now, at least. Let's add a little bit more. Judo chop. Or not. That was a failed judo chop. Oh, can't do it. I don't have the finger strength. Judo non-chop. Get in there. There we go. Okay, a couple more quarts of this this 530 right here, and we'll try to restart this unit. I'm about to spill this everywhere, I think. I think it already has oil spilt everywhere, so that may be inconsequential. There we go. Yeah, this thing we believed was affected by a cylinder head issue that was known with the Pentastars, and there was potential that this car had a extended warranty for the issue from Dodge or Chrysler or Mopar or Fiat or Mercedes, or whoever built this engine. I believe there was an extended warranty on it, and this thing was in the queue to go have that warranty issue addressed, and then somewhere along the line it blew up. So yeah, I don't know yet. We're gonna find out though. I think on our way back in, I'm gonna go fetch the scan tool And we're just gonna check the ECM before we drive this or start it again. Just see if it's got any codes that showed up. Couldn't hurt. We're in the information gathering stage. Okie dokes, I've got the scan tool with me here. Let's go ahead and plug in and power this on and see if it's got any DTCs stored. DTCs are probably not gonna help us out with potentially blown up engine here, but it can at least provide to us a little bit of information and some evidence. So let's get that guy plugged in. Scanner powering on. This thing can go, oh, that's the release. That's the neutral release lever for when engaged in towing activities. We're gonna go previous vehicles. Power that on a little bit. Vehicle history. And we're looking for 17 Pacifica 3.6. Power that radio down. Show me some trouble codes here, please. Ding, 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 ding. Codes menu. Let's see what we get here. No codes present. So my misfire code didn't come back. That's cool. All right. Well, I put oil in it. Let's try the restart and see what happens. And it's the same. Okay. Yeah, I think this motor's toast. Let's go check it for a bunch of oil dumping out. See if it's got a hole in the block. And if not, we'll at least try to drive it in. Yeah, it's dumping oil. Something broke. All right, we're gonna push this unit inside. I don't want to drive it. Not that I fear driving it will cause any damage to it, because the damage is already done. I just don't want an oil slick going through the parking lot there. So we're just gonna have to push this bad boy in the shop. You know what? I changed my mind. Troy's not here to help me push. We're just gonna send it. All right, moving on in. As quickly as possible. I know we're dumping oil on the ground. That's good. Powering down. Shut off. Phew. Okay. Okay, we're in the shop. We're at the rack. Let's repop and Z-hood here, and we're gonna go down below after we lift this up and see what happened down there. Okay, lift arms are set. Oil slick present. Lift arm set on this side. Black subscribe button. Moment of shameless self-promotion. That's what I use to remind you guys that are new here to consider subscribing to the channel. And that will end my moments of shameless self-promotion. Pacifica, moving on up. Holy smokes, look at that oil slick. It's not getting any smaller. All right, all the way up, top of the rack. Set her down on the locks here. Clicks. And let's get some pig mats for that oil slick. We're going full Exxon Valdez. And I'm running low on mats too. Not bad though, it goes through one box in 4 months. I'd say that's a pretty good deal. There we go, that one goes there. This one, right there. Okay, back down below. Let's pull our covers. This big plastic skid panel thing down here. Splash shield. That's in the way, we can't really see. Let's get this guy unbolted. Oh, of course, there's an 8mm in the mix. Why wouldn't there be? They're all 10s except for like the ones on the side. Go. Okay, got the 8 that's coming in for our little side bolt here. Cannot get it. I cannot reach. Here, how about an 8 wobbly bit? That should get it. It's for the tough to reach places. Let's go around the corner. Okay, that's one. Let's get this other wobble drive 8mm over here on this other side. Get you. Oh, there's another one right behind us. Look, there's extra 8s. There. And as if all those bolts were not enough, there's also a couple of these big plastic push clips. Let's pull these guys out. There we go. Our unit is starting to drop down. And oh no, that's not good. You guys, look. There are aluminum chunks under here. It's not looking good. There's a whole bunch of chunks. Oh, that's bad. I think she's dead. Yeah, let's get this whole business out of here. There we go. Off to the side. Alrighty, so I think I would like to probably pull this pan off and see what happened in there. I'm assuming that it threw a rod at the crank. I want to determine if this was an oiling issue or some kind of a rod issue. So what I can do is we can pop this pan off of here, and I can pull maybe like one of the main caps off and see if the bearings are scored up or not. So let's go ahead and get this exhaust removed real quick. And oh look, someone's already had this exhaust removed once. Look at that. There's orange RTV sealant, the high temp stuff. A bunch right there too. Witness marks on the bolts. Somebody's been in here before. All right, yeah, I'm gonna pull this exhaust off real quick, and we're gonna get that pan dropped and see what happened down here. This is gonna be bad. Let's get this stuff apart. We've got some clamps here. And I was just thinking, this is like an I Do Cars video, except it's still in chassis. It's awesome. Thanks, Eric, for the inspiration, sir. Come here, clamp. Yeah, I'll get you later. Yeah, we got a couple brackets down here on the pan. Stuff flung oil all over my face. Money shot. Gross. Tasty. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, moving forward to our next obstacle. There's a flange here with a couple 13 bolts on it. Let's pull those guys out. Unclick you. This one, disconnect that guy next. Why is there, I can't believe that there is orange sealant on that exhaust. That does not go there. All right, well anyway, the exhaust is kind of free. Still working on that little clamp right there. I may need to just pry bar it. Yeah. You know what, first, we can pry driver it. Let me try that first. It's like a V-band clamp for a turbo, where it clamps from both sides here. Come on. Everything is a hammer except for my screwdriver. That didn't work. There. There we go. Got it. That's off. Okay, let us move around to the back side of this exhaust right here and get that final clamp off. It looks like a 16 like the other one was. We'll just ratchet wrench this thing off of here, and then that Y pipe will should come out of the chassis here. Should. It's kind of stuck on there. Become unstuck, clamp. No. Seriously? Maybe more pry driver? Oh, the exhaust is leaking water. See that? Oh, sorry, stabbed you guys. That was unintentional. Come on. Why? It's because I'm doing it wrong, I know. I'm supposed to ask it nicely. There we go. Got some separation action here. That's what we needed. Let's wiggle this stuff apart. I think I need to just get this shaft all the way out now. It still is not enough. All right, now give this thing a tug, or a pry and a tug, or all the above. Get that guy free and out. Goodbye, exhaust. There we go. Gravity. Okay, drain pan coming in. Let's go ahead and pull that drain plug out of the oil pan and get the remainder of the new oil back out of it. Electron ratchet coming in, neutral drop. Watch this. Yeah, not looking good for brand new oil. That's not okay. Okay, now while that's draining, let's go ahead and start pulling these oil pan bolts out. I'll start with this bracket right here, which goes to that CV axle bracket. That's bolted into the pan and into the block, so let's get this guy out. That's tight. I'm not neutral dropping that one. It'll break my ratchet. There's one. Okay, so the rest of these guys, we're just gonna hit those with the extendo wobble socket. They're all 13 mil. Starting with the hole in the block part. Let's go around, pull these guys all out, and then we can drop this pan down and see what happened inside here. Next. Can you imagine doing this with a speed wrench? You guys remember speed wrenches? Okay, that's the back side and the right side, or this side of the engine. Let's go around the other side here and get the remainder of those fasteners. There's a few of them right in front of us. Let's get some light on the subject in there. There we go. Bolt gravity, engine block gravity. And some of you guys were saying these Pentastars are good motors. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to strongly disagree with that statement. Yeah, I think that's all of them. There's a couple more on the bell housing here. Let me get those guys. Those are looking like they're gonna be 15 mil. See them right there. Same thing, 15 on the wobble. Got that one. Another one up high. One more higher than that. There's oil dripping everywhere on me. I don't like it. I think there's just like 2 more to go. Get that guy. Another. Okay, next challenge is going to be separating the oil pan from the upper pan slash block skirt. So we need to get that taken care of. I choose to attempt that with curvy angular pry bar. These things are adjustable to get the right angles for your dangle in there. So we're going to try to hook that into that little, there's like a little indent right there or whatever. Try to hook that in there and then pry this using leverage. See if we can't crack it loose. It's either gonna work or it's not. Oh. Seems to not be working. Let's try it from another, we'll have to move maybe, try it from another angle here. Like another position. Oh, that one's not coming out. Okay, let's move around and pry at it from the back side some and see if that gives us our desired results. What's holding us up here? Okay, it's a little more loose. It should be coming down. Pry bar again. Push the pan that way. I'm not sure what's holding us up. It's totally loose and unbolted. See that? It's just kind of captured. I figured it out. I see what the dealio is. I pulled those two rubber plugs out right here, and it just so happens to have two more fasteners all the way up there that hang on to this oil pan. That's what it is. Let me get those guys out. That one wasn't even tight. Let's get this next one here. There, now this thing, now she's free. There we go. I'm about to lose it. Oh no, I'm dropping it. Come on, oil pan. Oh my God, it's so bad. Oh, this is gnarly. All right, let's see what we can see. I mean, the windage tray is smashed out of it. See that? That's the windage tray. That's designed to keep oil splashes from contacting the crankshaft. So that thing's smashed out of it. There are piles of aluminum in the pan. This part of the pan's bent in, and there's chunks. Yeah, there's more chunks of aluminum. Look, a piece of a connecting rod. That's nice. Dang, all right. So that means that there is more connecting rod. Yep, right up there. Look at that. That's the con rod right there. It's bent and smashed into the crankshaft. That might be fun to remove. Wow, okay. So I'd like to turn this connecting rod around and maybe see if I can't get the thing to come off. So I'm probably gonna have to hammer it. It seems to be wedged in there pretty good. I'd like to spin it around, get the bolts disconnected and get it off the crank. Don't need that. There, don't need that either. Yeah. Well, the crank turns. Well, we know the crank turns. I drove this car in here. Okay, so I've got a 27 mil socket. I'm gonna put this up on the front of the crankshaft right here, and we're gonna turn the crank so I can maybe try to get to the bolts that are on the back side of that connecting rod. Let's see if this is gonna work here. If I can get those bolts off, we could probably get the cap off of it and maybe take a look at the bearings and see what the deal is here. Oh. Nope. The piston seems to be up at the top of the bore. Oh, there we go, almost. That was almost a finger smasher too. That would have been fun. Okay, so there's our two bolts, and they have not been destroyed from running into things. So let's see if we can't get that cap off and get that rod out of there. Okay, wrench, socket, extension coming in. Let's pull these connecting rod bolts out of here. They're tight, that's good. There's oil coming out. That means there's oil in there. I guess that's good. That one's kind of stuck. That bolt seems to have contacted an obstacle and is a little bit deformed. Just hammer that on. Again, unbolting. Oh, there's still oil just dripping everywhere on me. Horrible. Okay, bolt's coming out. Now we can, oh, there we go. Got it. And we're losing some oil here. Ew. Making a mess. All right, let's try to get the other piece of this connecting rod out. We've got a punch here, and I'm gonna put that on our bolt holes, and I'm gonna try to hammer this connecting rod off the crank. You saw that it was bent and it's kind of wedged in there, but I think we can get it out. Yepper. Okay, it's kind of free. And I need to turn the crank some more to get it to come out. It's wedged up in that hole right there. We'll get it out. Let's grab this piece of bearing real quick. That crank looks good, and the bearing looks good. Ruh-roh. All right, turning our crank again. Spin this guy around, give us some space, and there's our connecting rod. And I think, where'd that other piece of bearing go? Did it fall out? All right, so here's what we know. We got a broken connecting rod. The bearing did not fail, which means it did not lose oil pressure. So something else broke this rod. You can see that rod's bent too, a lot. Some cracks in there, a lot of stress. Bearings look good though, the crank looks good. All right, let's, I'm gonna go ahead and let this down, and we're gonna pull the spark plugs out of the bank too. I think that was the second bank that blew up. We're gonna pull the plugs out and look at the top of the pistons and see what happened there. Maybe a valve fell out of it. Maybe it's full of coolant or water. Who knows what's going on, but we're gonna go ahead and find out. Let's get our flashing lights out of there. What else do we have up here? Any tools? There's another flashlight. Got that one in there. All right. Okay, moving back up. Lock release. Chrysler coming down. All the way down. You know, I gotta say, it's not a good look that I was just working on this, and then the engine blows up, like literally. Let's pop our, let's get this cover off of here. Bolts are out. Look at more oil up here. It's blown up everywhere. So, looks like the majority of the carnage was back there on the back side of the engine. So we're gonna go ahead and lose this little cap connector thing here. We're gonna get all this stuff disconnected again and clear some space. I'm gonna pull open the spark plug and the wire on what I believe to be, I think that was cylinder number 3 down there. We're gonna get that back apart. We're gonna pull that out and take a look down inside and see if the valve fell out of it, if there's a valve seat in there, or maybe it's full of water or coolant. Who knows what's going on, but we're gonna find out. If I recall, I couldn't get this connector unconnected. I had to remove the little clip thing, just pull it all the way out. You're supposed to just push them in like towards us, and then they expand. Oh yeah, just like that. That's how they go. Yeah, that's how it works. Take this little tube business out of here. There's our 3 coils. And like I mentioned, I believe that was number 3, which yes, number 3 was the affected cylinder on the misfire. And we believed that there was potential warranty on that cylinder head. So let's get number 3 apart first and see what's going on. Okay, going into our coil, get that 10 mil disconnected. That's a flashlight. Come here, light. Can't have that. Pull this guy out, and then we can pop that plug out. I bet it's absolutely destroyed in there. I'm thinking that the valve seat came out of it and sent the valve seat into the piston and destroyed the engine. That's our spark plug socket. Ratchet and extension coming in. Spark plug unclickage. Okay, it's coming out. It's turning. That's good. Back in there. Okay, so the bottom of the plug is not boogered up from stuff slamming into it. It's got fuel on it. That's fuel from the injector spraying. Smells like fuel. You guys smell that? It's wet from fuel, but no contact with anything. Okay. Very interesting. Borescope time. Alrighty, Borescope's coming in. Hope you guys aren't getting nauseous. We're going down. Let's see what our combustion chamber and our piston looks like. Okay, there's the top of our piston. And it looks similar to how it did first time we were in here, but look at that. There's this huge, big old crack running laterally across that piston. You guys see that? Look at that crack. Piston's broken. How did we do that? Wow, okay. I'm not sure. I want to get a better view on this. Let's try to push that piston down some, and we'll take another look at it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to put this extension down in that hole, and I'm just going to kind of tap it down with a hammer and tap the piston down a little farther. I need to add an extension to my extension, or just get a longer extension. I can try that. Nope, we need compound extensions. Going back in again. Not that, yeah, that one. That's the one. We'll add a medium one to that extension. I can't just push it. There you go. Piston went down. Now I can go back and borescope it again. Okay, we're going back in again. All the way down. See what we can see down here in this dungeness area. What is this? Did the valves hit the piston? Look at that. That's a new one. Yeah, I can see where the brake is. There's the crack in it. Or you know what? That might have happened on the way back up as the crank was trying to push the thing up in the air. I can't really tell. Yeah, that's definitely a cracked piston. But how did it break the connecting rod? That's my issue here. How did the rod break? I wonder if there's any carnage in here. Let's give this a rotate. Here, hang on, bear with me. I'm gonna shove this thing down until it bends my borescope. We'll try to get a 90-degree angle on the situation. Yeah, those are valve marks. Big time valve marks. Got a piece of metal over there on the left. Can't really make out too much in here. I know there's some destruction. I know we got a broken piston. I don't think I see any valves in there though. It's not computing in my head how we have a broken connecting rod and there's evidence where all 4 valves hit the top of the piston. This is weird. This is a whole nother different type of failure here. I'm not sure what to make of this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm not sure what the deal is with this. All right, guys. Well, I think we've seen all that we can possibly see without taking the cylinder head off or something of that nature. Clearly, we've had a catastrophic engine failure on this 3.6 Pentastar. We've got a broken connecting rod. We've got holes in both sides of the engine block. There's aluminum in a pile, aluminum in the pan. The block skirt's damaged. Holes in the pan right here. This thing, it's over with. She's dead. There's piston damage on the top side of it. Those valve marks could have been caused by the piston being shoved up higher through contacting all the carnage down in the oil pan. It could have been pushed up into the bottom of the cylinder head and the combustion chamber, or maybe a valve fell out of it. But the problem is I didn't see any valves sitting in there on top of the piston. Now they could have broken loose and come free and then got shoved back up and then wedged in there. But I would have to pull the cylinder head off, or at least take the valve cover off to make any kind of additional determinations. So what we know right now is that my fuel injector did not blow up the engine, but we do have a blown up engine. I've got a bent connecting rod like we talked about. Bearings are good, so it's not an oiling problem. So we didn't run out of oil until the hole showed up in the side of the block, and then it spilt out all of its oil. Evidence suggests that once this failure occurred, the engine was driven for X amount of period of time, because that thing slapped around in there long enough to basically saw the engine block in half. So I think it was driven for a little while after the situation happened. Again, my customer had stated that they saw smoke and steam or whatnot coming out from under the hood while they were driving. So maybe they didn't notice, maybe they did. Regardless, it doesn't change the fact that this Pentastar 3.6 is junk. At this point, really the only thing to do is to move forward with replacing the engine. And I suppose once I get this out, I can go full circle and complete a 100% I Do Cars plagiarism type of video, and then do the actual full autopsy on this thing. I am curious as to see what's happening inside that combustion chamber. So I hope I get that opportunity. Again, let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comment section down below. Do not forget to tap that like button while you're down there. I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out right now. And as always, I will do such things by thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this carnage, destruction, total annihilation video, please feel free again to let me know about that in the comment section down below. So again, as always, thank you guys for watching, and most importantly, have yourselves a better day than this engine's having. See you guys later in the video, in the engine, in the transmission.